Hi, I'm Chad Mureta. I'm here to tell you about the accident that crippled my left arm, forced me to give up my 80-hour work week, and turned me into a world-traveling, 1-hour-a-day working millionaire. The good news is, you don't have to have an accident like mine to get the same easy, wealthy lifestyle. In fact, it's easier if you don't. But first, let me tell you how I got there. 3 years ago, I was driving home on the interstate from an NBA game in Charlotte. It was late at night and I was exhausted from working so much. My life was an endless work day, and much of it was the same mind-numbing tasks day in and day out. I was about 30 minutes into the drive, reflecting on my life, when out of nowhere a deer bolted in front of me. I hit the deer and my truck spun out of control, hitting the median and flipping over 4 times. The next thing I remember is the sound of ambulance sirens. I woke up screaming in agonizing pain. My left arm was completely crushed, so badly in fact, that the doctors were trying to decide whether it was too risky to even attempt surgery. The only thing they were 100% clear on was that I would never be able to use my arm for anything important ever again. Now, I'm not talking about most arm injuries where you can't lift weights for a little while or play basketball. From my elbow all the way to my shoulder was completely shattered in 1,000 pieces. All the muscles were completely ripped out, and it seemed as though I would never be able to write, type, or even pick up anything again. I was essentially one-armed, and to make matters worse, it was my dominant arm that was destroyed. I lay in the hospital bed, defeated, not sure where my life would go, wondering if I even wanted to live to find out. Between the excruciating physical therapy I had to endure and being confined to an oversized lazy boy, all I could really do was text or surf the web from my iPhone. I was in a dark place and had pretty much lost all hope when a friend visiting me gave me a magazine article titled App Millionaires. He said, "Since you have some extra time, I thought you'd like this. This could be the light at the end of your tunnel." The article was on how people were making money selling apps for smartphones like iPhones and Android phones. At this point, I didn't even know what the heck an app was, so I was beyond skeptical. It turned out that an app is just any program you download from the iTunes or Android stores for your phone. It might be functional like a flashlight or a calorie counter, or just a fun game like Angry Birds, even tic-tac-toe. I immediately disqualified myself and said, "That's interesting, but I don't have any technical skills. Heck, I can barely operate my darn phone, and I'm tied to this hospital bed for a long time." He said, "Do you have anything else better to do?" I made a joke. "Yeah, what I need is an app so I can do this from my phone. I can't even use a computer," pointing to my crushed left arm that was now being held together by titanium rods. That's when he pointed to a tiny line in the article saying, "Some of these entrepreneurs don't do any programming at all and run their whole business completely from their cell phones." That's when I became hooked. From that moment on, in between the painstaking physical therapy sessions, I was on my phone looking for more information on this strange new business. It's funny how much simpler this was than any other money-making method I'd looked into before the accident. I had been interested in internet marketing at one point. There was always a reason why I couldn't do it. I didn't know how to make a website. But mobile apps don't rely on websites. I didn't know how to write sales letters or articles. But apps generally just had small paragraphs as a description that anyone could write. I didn't have $10,000 to start my business, and I didn't know how to distribute my product. But apps can be developed cheaply, and Apple handles all the distribution. I now had no excuses. Not only was this something I would have killed to know about a few years ago, it was now the only thing I was physically capable of doing. I suddenly found a new purpose with my condition and began making my first app. Long story short, in a couple months I started making some money. I never touched a line of computer code and outsourced all the development, thankfully super cheap because I was $100,000 in debt with all my hospital bills. It turned out there are entire systems set up to help people like me and you, aka the computer illiterate. This is why you see successful entrepreneurs as young as 9 years old and as old as 80 creating apps. Apple took care of all the technical details, so I didn't have to really worry about anything besides deciding what I wanted an app to look like and what I wanted to say about it. I could even clumsily draw on a napkin with my opposite arm what I want the app to look like. Take a photo of it with my phone and then send it off to someone that would turn it into a reality. This means that when my app hits the market, which I don't even have to upload or submit myself, it automatically shows up when someone is browsing the App Store and they just click yes to buy. They don't even have to take out a credit card. They are just 3 clicks away from paying me, which made this easier than any other type of online business I had ever heard of. Once I figured out this system and how to do it quickly, the money just started pouring in. Today, I'm a different man, and my free-flowing lifestyle has become everything I ever imagined it could be. This past year, my business cleared $3 million from just my iPhone apps alone. I live where I want, I travel all over the world, and I don't even have to be on vacation to do any of this because work takes so little out of my day. Just in the past year, I've gone scuba diving in Fiji, I've heli-skied in Canada, and hiked all throughout Australia. I only work about an hour a day, and most of it's just checking results for how much money I made or touching base with programmers with a quick text. The result of it is me playing games on my phone as market research. I can even check my sales online at coffee shops with a push of a button. My goal is to get you there too as fast as possible. And don't worry, you're under no obligation to go visit 1 million countries in 6 months if you think that's tiring. For some people that's the dream, and others, they just want to be able to hang back and spend more time with their families or even just sleep in as late as they want. The point is to have the freedom to decide what you do, when you want to do it, and who you want to spend it with, without money ever being an issue. So here's what I have for you. I took everything, and I mean everything I've learned in the last 3 years as an entrepreneur and condensed it into a 200-page book. This is a book you could finish in a couple days. I gave you the exact blueprint for getting the lifestyle I've gotten if you want it. In App Empire, I show you how to get your app started on a tiny budget without needing to borrow money or go into debt. Why not knowing how to program or do anything technical is an advantage for this business. The most successful entrepreneurs I know have no idea how to code, and the ones who struggle the most are the serious computer programmers. This is for a simple reason, and I'll show you how on page 77. I also show you how to fit your app business into even the busiest schedule. In fact, this is one of the few businesses that takes less time when you start out because you're only making one app while you learn the ropes. If you're starting small, as I recommend in the book, you can easily do this just an hour a day or on your spare time. I also show you how to run your business from anywhere with a Wi-Fi or phone signal. This allows you to work from almost any place on earth. You don't even need a computer. Let me clear this up. There's a lot of great stuff you can do in internet marketing. Either creating your own products, writing ebooks, or selling other people's products as an affiliate. For your biggest challenge, you'll always be competing with the big boys. eBay, Amazon, Google, Best Buy, IKEA, all the major corporations who have literally 7-figure budgets. And in the ebook and information marketing world, there are a ton of big names who make it very difficult for you to stand out from the crowd. Now in the app world, who are the big boys? There are none. This is as ground floor as it gets. If you could turn back to 1997, do you think you'd have a better shot of competing with the big players in internet marketing? Well, in terms of apps, it's 1997 again. Within 3 to 5 years, the app world will be as crowded as the internet world is today, with billion-dollar corporations and new Googles and eBays ready to jump in. Right now, the eBays and Googles of the app market are getting formed, and at the moment, they're not any bigger than you. These are the golden years of app marketing that everyone will look back and say, I wish it was as easy like it was in 2012. It's been developed just enough to be user-friendly, but not enough that there's any competition. It's even been predicted that by 2014, there'll be more people accessing the internet from their phones than from their computers. That's why it's extremely important that you jump on this now and get started before the big dogs come in. I would estimate you have about 2 years before things get crazy. So every day you wait will cost you.